Yo, what's up? It's the Cushman. Today we're going to be doing an install of the DeatschWerks 430 LPH fuel pump in the VB WRX. And I'm going to do a whole walkthrough, show you guys how it's done, so you could easily do it yourself. So let's go ahead and look at what we got here and show you everything you're going to need to get started. Okay, so we got here the fuel pump, of course, all the wiring, some O-rings, a little bit of lube to get the O-rings on a little easier. We got ourselves an oil pan here because the fuel pump is gonna leak some gas when you take it apart, so if you want to contain that, use a oil pan or something along those lines. And we got our fuel tank lock ring tool. Now, a lot of places sell these expensive, like almost $100 for a lock ring tool, specifically for your Subaru. But that's just a ridiculous price. Even though they look cool, I wasn't willing to pay that. So you can go to O'Reilly's and pick one of these up. You may have to order it, but yeah, you can most likely get it the same day. But yeah, this one is fully adjustable and it should work just fine, and we'll see if that's the case in just a minute. Alright, now the first thing you're going to want to do is take out your back seat. I already did it, so I'm not going to show, but this is actually probably going to be a little better because you could actually see how the clip works. So when your seat's in, you're just going to pull on this plastic piece here, pull out, and it's going to release it. And at that point, you could lift up the seat from the front. There's one of those on each side here. I didn't know that at first, and I was kind of like tugging on it, but luckily I didn't rip it apart like I have in the past with other cars. And you're also going to have these two sensors plugged in, one on each side. These are going to be plugged into the bottom of the seat, and that's just a weight sensor to tell the car that someone's sitting back there. And then after you got your seat out, we can go over here and open up this lid and start taking off the fuel pump. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so now let's go ahead and take off the 4 screws holding the cover on. Flip over the cover. Gotta unplug this plug right here. Just push it in. Pops right off. Set the plate to the side and remove this foam here. A little bit might be caught underneath the little screw hole there, but just carefully tear it away. That way you can reuse it. Okay. So now we can go ahead and disconnect the fuel line here. And this is probably going to leak a little bit of gas. Oh, kind of splashed up on me. Okay, got that disconnected. Let me grab a towel real quick, which I should have already had handy. Okay, just going to shove a piece in here. Shove that up in here to keep it out of the way. Okay, that way it's not going to work. guess that's not gonna fit anywhere. Alright, we'll just leave it like that. Go ahead and wipe this up real quick. We'll clean that lid off a little better once we actually get it off. Now let me go ahead and get my tool to take off this lid here. You can use a screwdriver or something else, but that's really not recommended because there's a chance you could break the plastic here, and better just to get the actual tool. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. Okay, now let's go ahead and set up the tool and adjust it. Alright, now we're right where we want. We'll go ahead and tighten things up here. And this tool here, it's going to use a 14mm socket. I'm starting to now think that maybe the specialty tool would have been a good idea. Alright, let's keep trying. There we go. Alright. Okay, now it's breaking free, so yeah, this is kind of a pain in the ass, but if you want to save a little bit of money, yeah, still I recommend getting this one here. Alright, got the cap off. Let's go ahead and lift this out. And we got a little gasket here. This goes between the cap and the pump assembly. So I'm going to put that with the cap. There doesn't seem to be an up or down on it, so I think that blue gasket just is fine how it is. Go ahead and lift out the pump, and there's going to be an O-ring over here around it. Make sure that stays there. Oh fuck, I just poured gas all over the place. Okay, and there's one more hose on the bottom here. We're gonna unclip that. Fuck, did it again. There we go. Yeah, that one was a pain in the ass. And now it dropped in there as well, but along with the O-ring, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there for now until I get something to grab it with, to try my best not to contaminate the gas there. Okay, so there's the other fuel line down in the tank there, and the O-ring. That O-ring goes around this part here, around this edge. And I probably should have like held on to that instead of doing it the way I did, but I wasn't expecting that bottom hose to be so hard to get off. But basically you just squeeze the tabs and it pops right off. I just had it at a weird angle. But all right, we got the pump out, so let's go ahead and move on to the next step. Okay, so here we got our fuel pump, and as you guys saw, it was like pouring gas everywhere. There's still a good amount of gas inside here, so let's go ahead and dump that out first. Beautiful smell of E85. Alright, now that that's drained out, we can continue to work on this here. Alright, so now we're ready to take apart the fuel pump here. Right down here, we're going to have a little C-clip. You can use a tiny little screwdriver like one of these to pop it out. And then we're going to have a clip right here, here, and one more right over here. And the wires, they're around this little clip here. You're going to want to go ahead and pop those out. That way you could easily move everything to the side once we get the top off and pull the rest apart. Somehow a little bug got in there. Okay, now we got a couple clips here holding on the fuel pressure regulator. You want to be very careful taking these off because you don't want them to break. Alright, now we got the stock fuel pressure regulator removed. And they look pretty much exactly the same. Let's go ahead and pop in the new one here. Okay, got the fuel pressure regulator in. Now let's pull out the pump itself. I'm gonna need a smaller screwdriver to get in there. Okay, now we got the stock filter off. Looked pretty dirty, a little bit of sand and shit on there, or fine dirt. Alright, stock fuel pump is removed. Go ahead and plug this in. Remove this cap here at the bottom. Attach the filter. Okay, so now we're going to remove the O-ring in there. So let's see, this is going to be kind of hard. Okay, it wasn't too bad. Popped right out and fell out the bottom. Yeah, the other O-ring seems to be a little bit smaller than the stock one. So let's hope it all works out. They give you 3 new O-rings just in case you mess up pretty much. But yeah, this one might just be stretched a little bit already. Okay, so we got our fuel pump. We got the filter pressed on the bottom there. And the filter only goes on one way. You'll see how it lines up. Then we put on this little cap. There we go. And this goes with the slits facing up according to the instructions on their website. Then we're gonna put the O-ring on top there. And we're gonna use this little packet of lube that it came with to put on the O-ring to make it easier to slide it in there. So put a little on there and rub it all the way around. I'm going to use a screwdriver for the back side because I can't get my finger in there. Alright, now that should be good. Now we got the plug in there. We're going to go ahead and feed the wire through. Line line everything up, and it pops right in. Now I wasn't sure if this was going to be reused or not, but I guess it isn't. In the instructions it says the pump is going to stick out about 1 inch or so. So that's what we got there. Okay, now we got the pump popped in there. Need to go ahead and attach this again. And this does have like little slots that it's going to fit into. There we go. Now we got that piece in place. We can go ahead and drop everything back in here. There we go. Alright, now we got the top locked back in. Let's go ahead and get this part back on. Quite remember how this hose was on there. And don't forget your spring. We're going to take our C-clip again, if I can even pick it up. Okay, pop that back on. Now I need to check real quick to see how this hose is supposed to be. I don't know if I should just leave it like that or try to tuck it in the side here. Okay, there we go. I think that should hopefully be good. Okay, all the clips are snapped on. Now we could take our wires and feed them back through the little clip here. And we'll do the same thing up here again. Plug in the level sensor. And plug in the new fuel pump wire. Yeah, I don't remember this hose being quite like that. I'm gonna take a look real quick and see if I can make that any better. Otherwise, yeah, that's just how it's gonna be. We got everything plugged back in. Got our wire back on the little wire clip thing there. And now we're ready to put it back in the car. Alright, so after going back and taking a look at how it should be, I decided to take the top apart here, and that hose actually goes underneath there through this little slot that it has under the clip. So now it's how it should be, so we can go ahead and get this back in the car. Alright, now let me go ahead and reach in here and take out this O-ring. And grab that line. Okay. Now we're ready to put the pump back in. Here's another big tip for you. If you don't have one of these like floor cushion things, you use it to lay down or kneel on, I definitely recommend getting these because it'll save your knees, and it makes working on your knees for jobs like this a lot easier. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description for these, and yeah, for sure you should get these. Okay, now these clips, you want to take it off of the fuel pump assembly and push them into the fitting here. They'll pop right back in like so. That way when you reconnect it, all you do is push it and it's going to snap right together. Just like that. Popped right back on. Make sure it's nice and secure. Do the same thing with this clip here. And I believe this should be the right orientation, just like that. Let me wipe this off real quick. Okay, now we're gonna get this ring back on here. We're gonna grab our lock ring. Some reason this wants to keep going on crooked. maybe I just need the tool at this point because I cannot turn it anymore by hand. Here, and it just got all over my damn hand. That should be good enough. Alright, I'll go ahead and pop this line back on. Now we're going to plug this in. And I'm not going to bolt this down just yet, just because I want to make sure that it's not going to be leaking from the top hose here before I put all that back together. Alright, so there we have it. DeatschWerks fuel pump install complete. Now we had a few hiccups there, but that's always to be expected. Nothing ever goes perfect unless it's your like 10th time doing it. But when you're doing something for the first time, always expect there to be some type of mistakes. You'll have to go back once or twice maybe to fix something, but yeah, overall everything went pretty smoothly, and yeah, I think this is pretty awesome. Can't wait to hit up D-Man and get my tune readjusted for the fuel pump and see where we go from there. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you got any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll be glad to answer. So with all that being said, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Peace.